Oh my god, it's here. It's finally here. Let's fucking go. Let's get into a game. Oh shit, Anon's got the pimp pad mango out. Let's go. I'm so ready for this. It's gonna be fantastic. Yo, is that real Jaws? You the actual Jaws? Jaws cast?
No.
Oh, I'm so ready. Guys, it's my first game on Overwatch 2. How about you?
Same.
Let's fucking go.
Does this shit take all the settings and shit? I think it does.
Yeah, no, I think it takes the same settings.
Yeah, it's all your settings from the first game, from what I can tell.
Yep. My keybinds are all the same. Sensitivity is the same. It's awesome.
What's going on, guys? Mango here, and today Overwatch 2 dropped. It was super fun, I gotta say, right off the bat. Super fun. I enjoyed the changes they made to the game. Now in this video, I'm just gonna put some of my first gameplay in there, even though I usually play on console and now I'm playing on PC, so it's gonna be a little rough at times, but I still think I did pretty good, and you guys just sit back and enjoy the footage. Now, I'm gonna try and talk at length about how I feel after playing about a dozen games of Overwatch. I played all 3 roles. The weight wasn't really any different than the regular Overwatch role weight, you know, whether you're queuing for tank or DPS or healer, although I will say tank did take a little longer than usual. Go figure, everyone wanted to try those new tank changes, but let's get into it. Number 1, the biggest change is the 5v5 format. I think this overall will be a good thing. I think this will be a net win for the game, both for the Overwatch League and for viewers, because it makes things a little simpler, a little easier to follow, and also because it gives you a little more carry potential in the game, which I think is nice. You know, the little less is left up to randomness, where previously, if you had a really good game, sometimes your team would still lose, and that felt bad. But now, when you have a really good game, it's more likely that you're going to pull your team to victory. And to that effect, I would say the game moves a lot faster. So if you thought Overwatch moved fast, buckle up, because this game is going to move even faster. There's less shields, so obviously more damage is flying through. Things are going to occur quicker. You need to make your decisions quicker. You need to know when to back out quicker. And you need to know when to push in quicker, honestly. So far, it seems a little more almost like Halo in that it's more of a one-on-one duo game. You know, counters aren't as strong in this game, like especially when you take out things like McCree's flashbang or May's total freeze. It makes it hard to really counter some heroes. Now, I did notice, like, I played against a Reinhardt and I switched to a Bastion on DPS, and Bastion did seem to give Reinhardt a hard time because you could really delete his shield. But every game is going to be different. There's going to be new counters and stuff figured out every day, or at least soft counters. So, you know, it's just exciting. It's new. It's changed the whole formula. So it's a whole new game to figure out, really. I understand why some people like come in from the outside and say, oh, is this just the same game? But it really isn't. It feels new. It feels more fun. It feels more... It both feels more FPS-y, but at the same time, you can tell Blizzard is working on those MOBA elements to try and prolong people's, lives, or at least delay those quick kill times that might have happened if you didn't have barriers. Now, let's talk about some things that I really liked about the game. The first one being that, and this is going to be an unpopular opinion, because what I see on Twitter is that supports are super weak and they didn't get changed very much, but in my opinion, supports feel like pretty strong, or at least more DPS-y. Like, you get to play offense with supports way more. Baptiste, I was playing way more aggressively, or at least not hitting the heal grenade so much, at least. I mean, think about it. In Overwatch 1, you would just be plunking your heal grenades into the back of your 2 tanks while you just stood at this stalemate. It's not very fun. In this game, I was getting a lot of damage in and getting a lot of picks with Baptiste, which, if you look at it, you got this new leaderboard too, which is another cool thing I'll talk about later. But you see, the supports really don't do that much less damage than anyone else in this game, which is pretty cool, unless you're Mercy. Another great example of this is, like, Ana's much more lethal as a support now, especially because I came up against a lot of pharmacies, and she just felt pretty strong shooting the pharmacy out of the sky, which I guess that happened in Overwatch 1 as well, but just with one less tank to focus on, it freed her up to shoot at enemy DPS players or tank players a little more. And I thought that was very fun. I think that was very freeing, you know, to be a support player but still feel like you're putting out a good amount of damage. That's super fun. On a related note, I think less barriers is also super fun. Once again, I like make this comparison to Halo, where it's a little more of an arena shooter where no one, you know, everyone's free game. You can do whatever you want with any character, really. Every character is there to frag. Every character is there to get kills. That's fun. Supports were usually just relegated to pumping heals into their tank, and then as soon as their tanks died, they were done for. But no, these healers, these support players are, I shouldn't even call them healers anymore because they do a lot of damage. Like it's fun. They're impactful. It makes the game, it's almost like the roles have centralized a little bit in that they've all gotten a little more similar. They're all meant to play more like a arena FPS shooter, which I think is a fun thing. I think, you know, some people aren't going to like it, I suppose, but I think overall it makes for a more consistent experience regardless of what role you end up on. And I think that's a good thing. Another thing I really like, a simple thing, and it's been talked about, you know, they let us know this before going into this beta, but it sounds cool. The sound effects sound good, and honestly, I think they're going to keep going. You can kind of tell, I mean, the gun sounds are there. The gun sounds are there, and that's like my favorite part about this beta, is how good Soldier feels shooting that. Even Widowmaker just clunking off headshots sounds fantastic. And I think they're gonna keep improving like the sound effects for like when you get a kill, or like supposedly if people on your team are dying, there's a tone, and the more people that die, the tone increases in pitch or something. I didn't hear too much of that myself. They can maybe tune that a little bit, but I think the sound effects are definitely probably gonna improve. I enjoy the audio engineering of this game. It sounded really good, and honestly, it just improved my enjoyment of the game. Okay, let's talk about some of my pain points, because obviously they're there. The main one I noticed, I mean, there's not a lot of them. I was really impressed with this beta release, but the couple that I noticed was it seemed like some abilities like Tracer's Blink or Moira's Fade, in Overwatch 1 they used to give like a little bit of a trail so you could tell which direction they were going. But it seemed like in Overwatch 2, like a Tracer would blink and you would have no idea where she went. Or Moira would fade and you would have no idea where she went. Which I'm not a huge fan of that change, especially because like characters like McCree don't have a flashbang anymore. So I could see Tracer becoming a menace because she's really hard to keep track of. I unsuccessfully was like a Roadhog. I think I tried to hook a Tracer like 7 times on a single map of Ilios and just failed each time. Didn't feel great, but it was just really hard to keep track of her. Wasn't a huge fan of that. Honestly, after that, like, any of my gripes are pretty nitpicky. Like, I thought Sigma would be pretty powerful because he still got the barrier. He can still suck up projectiles. But one of my viewers was right, and they're like, well, Sigma gets ran over, and I was like, well, I'll see about that. And then I played Sigma and proceeded to get run over. I think Sigma feels pretty weak right now, which is a bummer. Liked Reinhardt, liked Roadhog. Zarya, also pretty rough. I only played her for about 10 seconds, and then I switched. Didn't feel great. But, you know, maybe there's just I just got to get better at her. I'm going to keep it short, and overall, super fun changes. I really like the direction that Overwatch has taken. Super excited for the Overwatch League. I think it's going to improve the viewing experience for all the things I mentioned earlier, like less effects, and other people have said this too. I think we're all right with less shields in play. I think it's going to simplify a lot of things and make it almost like Valorant, but more exciting, like less just, you know, corner watching. I think it's going to be like a more exciting Valorant, and hopefully not just for the viewers, but for the players as well. That's what I'm most excited about. So obviously this is day 1 of the beta. A lot of people are getting their hands on it for the first time. I want to know what your guys' favorite part of the game is, what you don't like so much, what improvements you think Blizzard can make. Let me know in the comments, and then I'll see you online, hopefully. Until then, good luck and have fun.